So what is a COVID passport? We all must be really fed up of COVID right now. We can't even leave our houses, we can't even look out the window, it seems, these days, because new rules are being introduced and new lockdowns are going left, right and centre. The government is trying to get us back into big public events such as sporting events like football, rugby, other exhibitions, public events and even international travel. And in this they're introducing a COVID passport, which is basically an app on your phone that proves you had a COVID vaccination, a recent negative test, or even you've had COVID and now you have the immunity for Covid-19. So what this means is you can now go into events with lots of people. Instead of social distancing, you are now in an event full of people who have COVID vaccinations, which in theory means that you can't pass on COVID and people in the event can't get COVID because they have already got COVID. So there are many different problems with this COVID passport. There are also many advantages to this passport. Let's start off with the advantages first. Of course, first of all, COVID passports mean that we can return back to our sporting events, our exhibitions, our galleries, everything. Life back to normal, you might be thinking. That's amazing. We have for the past year and a bit been dreaming about life going back to normal. When would this nightmare of COVID-19 end? This is great. We can go back to watching football matches, we can go back to seeing Liverpool lose and we can go back to the pub and enjoy the wine and beers just like before. The other advantage of COVID passports is that we can finally travel internationally again. If you've been stuck in the UK, you know that for the past 4 months we've not been allowed anywhere internationally, apart from select reasons which is not applicable to most of the people. Apart from the influencers who are all in Dubai, we have been stuck in this cold world for a long time and winter has been slowly burning us in from the inside with ice. So COVID passports allows us to travel internationally, and this is great because we deserve the holidays and we've been working so hard, or not so hard, but we still need a change of scenery. International travel is beneficial for all countries as travel and tourism is the single biggest sector of the economy. Now this will be great for the UK economy and it will be great for other economies, and it also will be great for our happiness. So in that way it's a pro. But is it really a pro? There are so many disadvantages to having a COVID passport, and the first disadvantage is the invasion of privacy. Now the UK prides itself for having freedom of speech and freedom of movement, and this is something that we all relish. Having COVID passports adds another layer of invasion of privacy, as it gives us a card that we need to carry around proving our identity and it also proving our immunity. This creates segregation based on the groups that have been immunized and have taken the vaccine against the people who have not taken the vaccine. This could be due to many reasons. It could be due to a personal reason of not taking the vaccine, but it could also be due to the availability of the vaccine, as in you haven't been offered the vaccine and therefore you can't have a COVID passport that allows you to be segregated. Furthermore, invasion of privacy. Although recently there has been a lot more invasion of privacy compared to before, such as CCTV cameras, such as Oyster card tracking and phone tracking. This adds another layer of invasion of privacy, and this is just not good and it doesn't sit well with a lot of people. The second reason why COVID passports are not a good idea is the fact that they're not scientifically proven yet. There is not enough scientific data to show how long immunity lasts. Whether it's a few months or a few years, we cannot tell. Even from contracting COVID-19 and surviving, the antibodies, there are no way of knowing how long they will last. Furthermore, we see it all the time with flu vaccine. The flu vaccine does not show 100% efficacy, that it will not work guaranteed for 100% of the people. This is due to many reasons, such as the influenza virus being able to mutate very quickly. The vaccine often can be useless in certain years. There is not enough studies on COVID-19 and the coronavirus to actually discern if the mutations will appear quickly or not and how useful these vaccines will be in the long. This means that if you're opening up an arena of say 80,000 people, we don't know if this many people in such a crowded area will lead to another rise in infection cases. As with all policies, implementation is not always 100% down in the field. For example, the track and trace system was a great idea, but its implementation in the UK was poor. This is because it wasn't followed up enough like other countries were. So this means in big venues, in pubs and restaurants, these rules may not be taken as seriously and a lot of people will seep through the crack. For example, in such a big event of 80,000 people, scanning 80,000 barcodes is very time consuming. If the internet is ever down, therefore will eventually have been let in because they have tickets, and this creates an influx of people who do have the coronavirus, and eventually they will spread it around, and this would lead to another lockdown, which we do not want. The other reason, probably one of the most concerning reasons, is that it can encourage fraud. We already live in a society where fraud is increasing due to more people being online and it being easier to commit fraud from the comfort of your own house. We already know that there are a lot of online shopping fraud, bank fraud, phishing scams, and many other scams that go along. Already the UK and every other country is not on top of their game when it comes to catching fraud. So essentially the COVID passport, which is on our phone, which proves we have the vaccine, can probably be circumvented, and someone will be able to figure out that, yeah, you can create an app that shows that yes, you've been vaccinated when in fact you have not been. This therefore creates a false economy where we think we have people that have been vaccinated but they haven't, and essentially the system crumbles. So all this money that we're investing in COVID passports, which is going to be millions upon millions, if close not to billion, will eventually be useless, and it will lead us to a time and a place where we just don't know who's been vaccinated and who hasn't, and we have to pump more money into the system to identify those who have been vaccinated and those who haven't. And this is just a huge hassle. This would lead to excess deaths, and it will lead to a lot more people contracting the coronavirus and becoming ill. While I want to avoid a fourth lockdown above everything else, I think we have to look at this COVID passport done more deeply, and we have to figure out the pros and the cons. And there may be a compromise, there may be a system in place where we can start opening up things while protecting those who are more vulnerable, such as people of age of 60 and people who have medical conditions. And that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed this kind of video, feel free to subscribe to my channel. My name is Jubair. I'm a PhD student at University College London. I make videos on productivity, studying, technology, and how it's like to live in London. If you like this video, please press like and comment down below if you thought this was useful, or if you want to see other videos that I make that are quite educational. And as always, thank you for watching.